Okay, here we go. I can show them how to do it when I'm in the zone. Before we start, let me puff that indigo. If I thrust, guaranteed you gon' feel it though. My intro for this real shit.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave, and we just finished with this week's episode of NXT. And I'm here to give you your copious review. We're going to get into everything that happened tonight on the NXT program. We're going to take your calls, your comments, your concerns, your quips, your jokes, your hopes, your dreams, your fears, your loves, your passions, your hates, and everything that you have to say about tonight's NXT. And we're going to ball it up, and we're going to dribble it down the driveway of life, whatever the fuck that means. Couldn't tell you because it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm exhausted. Exhausted and in pain. And I got to admit, this is one of the first times probably ever, in a very long time at the very least, that I was not overly impressed with NXT tonight. Nothing happened. It was one of those shows where not a lot happened. That is until, and I know this is going to draw some heat. I know people aren't going to be happy. The best part of this goddamn show tonight was Eva Marie in that match, and it wasn't all because of her. It was the intrigue that, look, to make an Eva Marie match even somewhat passable, they had to go to extraordinary lengths. They had to bring in all kinds of intrigue with multiple referees, which I thought was a cool angle because they haven't really referenced the fact that that other referee has basically gave Eva Marie matches in the past. So they referenced that. They bring in Charles Robinson, Lil Nate, come in and do his thing. That was pretty interesting. Nia Jax, you got her, Nia Jax coming down there. She's in the corner. It seemed like they were absolutely stacking the deck to put the title on Eva, doing everything they can to just draw more and more heat off the situation, which I gotta admit isn't a terrible strategy. I mean, she's gonna get booed anyway. She's gonna have this heat on her anyway, so why not go with it? And it seems like that's what their strategy was. Corey Graves did a really good job of talking it up. You had the other two, Byron and friggin' Rich Brennan, were just disgusted by the entire thing. I thought it worked really well. And then as for the match itself, it wasn't horrible. You could say what you want about some of the mistakes that Eva Marie made, and she didn't make a lot in this match. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give her credit there. This was her best match that she's had, and it's not because of her. Obviously, Bayley had a lot to do with it. But I like to see at least the improvement from Eva Marie, and we saw it. Is it still going to piss people off that she's at the top of the ladder there going for NXT championships? Sure, but it looked like this is a fleeting thing because if you'll watch after the match, after Eva Marie puts on a pretty damn good show with all kinds of good intrigue in there, Nia Jax takes her place. I'm gonna if I call her Nia one time, the next I'm gonna call her Nia. So at least 50% of the time, I'm right in calling her by her correct name. At least 50% of the time, because I don't know what it is. I don't give a shit. Sometimes they even mess it up. I don't care. So it's gonna be interesting to see if she can get look, before I get too flustered out of exhaustion and pain, I'm not sure a match with Nia Jax is going to be that much better, if any at all better, than this match with Eva Marie, which I didn't hate. A lot of people are going to. Look, I think certain people get blinded by hatred for certain people. And Eva Marie is one of those individuals that you're going to get blinded by hatred for because the WWE wants her to be a star. And we don't want her to be a star. No. We don't want her to be there. No. Now look, the argument that she's terrible is a valid one. Because she is. And you know me, week in, week out, I absolutely put her on blast. I can't really do it this week. The one thing that you're going to get out of me, whether you like it or not, is I'm going to call it the way I see it. I'm not going to take in anything else into consideration, things that we've seen week in, week out. No, I'm not taking that into consideration. I'm going off of what I saw tonight, and what I saw tonight was a very, very much improved Eva Marie. Very much improved. And look, I'm not an idiot. I understand most of that is because of the fact that she was in there with one of the best, if not top 3 women wrestlers in the world today in Bayley, who seems to would be able to get a good wrestling match out of a brick. You know, it really seems like it wouldn't matter who she's in there with. Now, that theory is going to be put to the test when she does inevitably get in there with Nia Jax. I don't have high hopes for that match. I think Nia Jax, I think she's a little more, she might be more limited than Eva, which is saying a lot. I don't know how I feel about Nia Jax yet. I like her look. Same thing with Eva, love her look. I like the way she carries herself. There's a lot there that I absolutely do like about Nia Jax, but she's botched quite a bit in her matches. And her matches are very short. They're the exact same thing. I mean, they're not even in different sequences. At least Eva is doing different things in the ring when she gets in there. Granted, not all of them successfully, but she's doing different things. She's changed up her finisher. She went back to the sliced bread. Tonight, she hit her best sliced bread yet. She looked the most athletic version of her that we have seen yet. So I can't beat her up too hard. I know a lot of people are going to want it, but that wasn't that bad of a match. The entire show was woefully underwhelming, and maybe that could be a part of the reason why this match felt a little bit better than maybe it was, and that could be by design. I mean, when does NXT have micro matches the way they did? A title match especially. That we're going to talk about the Tag Team Championship match, but I was very disappointed in that. I was disappointed with just about everything that happened tonight up until that main event. I got to be completely honest. So let's go ahead. Let's get through the copious amounts of notes. We're going to start through the top, work all the way to the bottom, and then we're going to take your calls, your questions, and all that good stuff. And then I'm going to get the hell up out of here because Davey be tired, suckers. Davey be tired. But here's what I want you to do. If you're in the chat right now, hanging out, and those who are, I appreciate it. Josh Lines, Fat Ass Twat, Clinton G, Sal Cajeda, all you guys, Omar Marrero, all you mofos, thank you very much for the support. Thank you for being in there. What I want you to do is hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We're over 1,600 subs now, kids. We're moving on up like George and fucking Wheezy is what we're doing. So make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel in other ways, make sure you go get yourself a Copious Club shirt or many other shirts that we have over at www.deadondave.spreadshirt.com. Also, you can just donate to the channel and say, hey, fat man, I love what you do. Here's a little tip. Merry fucking Christmas. You know, you can do whatever you want with that. And I much appreciate it. Hey, if you tip your barista who gives you those terrible, disgusting, vomit-inducing pumpkin spice lattes, you can give a little love to the copious fat man who just gives you free ear sex. That's right. I come in and I fuck your ears because that's what I do. That's what I do. I am tired. Ugh, God. I got more vulgar than I usually. I couldn't think of anything clever. Like tickle your ear, vaginas. Nothing. No cleverness. No, I'm going to fuck your ear. That doesn't even sound appeasing. That doesn't even sound appetizing. Why would anybody want to have their ear fucked? That's how tired I am. I can't even think of a fucking smart, disgusting thing to say. I just have to say, I'm going to fuck your ear. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to fuck all your ears. Does that sound good? Does that sound like something you want? No. What the fuck's the matter with me? Anyway, let's let's get right to it, man. Beginning of the night, Cole is in charge. Uh-oh. That's not good. And he announces even Bayley for later on in the night. I don't know why Cole was the choice here to be in charge instead of Regal. The only thing that comes to my mind is, one, it's easy, cheap heat. That's the first thing. Two, it seems like they're trying to play the corporate card because they mentioned the board quite a few times tonight. The corporate board, the board of directors, whatever. They kept mentioning them, and they kept mentioning them in the same phrase with, you know, best for business and everything. And it seems like what we as fans continue to say is the they, whether it be Kevin Dunn, Vince McMahon, who's ever in charge, we always have the they do what they want. They shove Eva Marie down our throat. They shove Roman Reigns up our ass. They do this. They keep Cena on top. Well, it seems like, to me at least, that they may have given a name tonight, and that could be the corporation, the company, the board, whatever you want to call it. They referenced it a few different times by a few different names, but it would not be surprised to me if that became more of a storyline and we started hearing and seeing more and more of that. Very similar to it would be an evil version of WCW's Championship Committee that got in. It got involved a lot in the 90s. The WCW Vaunted Championship Committee. How great was that? James J. Dillon would get involved in all that. It's almost kind of like a beginning setup to days gone by when like Jack Tunney and Gorilla Monsoon were presidents of WWE and all that. Jack Tunney did nothing in his career. Gorilla at least came in there, and I think Vader beat him up once. That was funny. But I mean, those things are interesting to me. I kind of like the idea of creating a non-physical presence that they're kind of blaming for the terribleness that we're going to see sometimes. I kind of like that, the scapegoat of the corporation, considering us asshole smarks are already blaming them anyway. It's kind of a smart way to go when you think about it. I don't know if I'm the only one who picked up on that, or if I'm just seeing things because I'm delusional and in a fever dream. That's very possible. So let's get back into it. Contract signing for the NXT TakeOver London title match between Samoa Joe and Finn Balor. Finn Balor comes in, says a few things, cuts Michael Cole off. That ends up being nothing. Michael Cole being there ended up accounting for nothing. Thank God. Good choice there. Whoever they are that made the choice. Balor says a few things about Joe. Joe doesn't say a fucking word. Comes in, signs the contract, walks the hell out. Loved that. It's Samoa Joe all the way. Then Finn Balor tries to leave, and Joe kicks the shit out of him. This is becoming an interesting storyline because, you know, they're the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winners, and they have known each other for as long as they have. They have good chemistry when they beat the crap out of each other. Joe has now put Finn Balor to sleep on consecutive weeks. This is getting interesting. And here's what we know, the best part of it. These two have the capability to have match of the year quality in this fight coming up at NXT TakeOver London. And I think because it's the first international event for NXT, it's every bit as big, if not bigger, than NXT Brooklyn. It's a huge event, and I think it needs to feel that way. And Joe and Balor are starting to make it feel that way, and that's a lot of fun. So that's getting me really excited. So I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed Finn Balor like drooling all over himself too. That was fantastic. Just get put to sleep. That's what happens when you get put to sleep in a chokehold. You drool on yourself. Looks like he mouth came. That's what it looked like to me. But again, tired and in a lot of freaking pain. Next up, the Vaudevillains, who I am so tired of. And the Mechanics, Dash and Dawson, for the Tag Team Championship of the world. And this is where I had a problem with the first match of the night. This is where things kind of started to go awry for me. This match did nothing. It was short. It did not have a lot of intrigue. It did not ever really seem to be in jeopardy. The Mechanics seem to really be in control. They do what they do. They find a part of the body and beat the crap out of it. The Vaudevillains are the Vaudevillains. They're unbelievably boring because how can you be called the Vaudevillains if you're not villains? I understand that they're from vaudeville. I get that. But it worked when they were actually villains. A singular pun sucks. Everybody hates singular puns. But when you got a double pun, that shit is clever. That shit keeps you coming to the bank. The fact that they were vaudevillains, where they were from the vaudevillain age, but they were also villains, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. And the whole, come on, see, all that stuff, it was great because it was a double pun. Single puns suck, double puns work. Take notes, this will be on the test later. I actually, I'm just not a big fan of these guys if they are not heels, plain and simple. So the Mechanics take care of, speaking of plain and simple, the Mechanics take care of him. They beat him clean, and it looks like that is the end of the Vaudevillains, at least in the title hunt. You got to figure what's going to happen with them. They got to be coming up to the main roster soon, right? I don't know. I don't think you have to go out on top to get that call up. I don't think that's necessarily possible or necessarily. What necessarily necessary? Yeah, that's right. That's right. It doesn't have to happen. It's not a prerequisite. There you go. So after the match, the Mechanics continue to take part. Vaudevillains and Cass and Enzo make their return, and they look pissed off. They certainly don't look SAWFT soft. No, they don't. They look hard, rock hard, porn star hard. That's how hard they looked, and they beat the shit out of the Mechanics. So it looks like they could be leapfrogging any potential of this, the match that I really want to see, Jordan and Gable versus the Mechanics. It looks like that's going to be put on the back burner. Cass and Enzo probably getting the title shot at NXT TakeOver London, which I got to be honest, I don't hate that idea. That doesn't bug me. I do want to see that. It's just the problem with that is I don't think anybody thinks that Cass and Enzo are going to win this match, mainly because taking the titles off the Mechanics seem to be a little counterintuitive because the clash that everybody wants to see is them and Jordan and Gable, and that's going to be a classic. So we'll see what happens with that. Eva Marie then does a promo from William Regal's office. I didn't hate the promo. I didn't hate it. I didn't think she did a bad job. I loved looking at her. I was happy. She didn't botch the promo. I liked the fact that she introduced Nia Jax and said there's nothing more important than friendship. I mean, it was the theme for the night with her. It just seemed like something was, the fix was in, and I liked it. I liked the continuity. I liked that it was well done. I didn't think it was too forced. I thought it was very, very well done. I got to give Eva Marie some credit tonight, and I hate doing it. It feels wrong in this area, in my chest area. It feels wrong. Well, no, it feels right in my penile area, but up in my chesticles, in my heart, it feels wrong. She makes everything in the lower bits feel very, very good, but it's the upper bits that make me feel meh. But, all that being said, she did a great job tonight. She did. You want to fight me? Let's fight, Speaking of fight, after that, Asuka and Brooke get their rematch. Oh, no, they don't. It was a setup. It was a work. It was a sham. You know what I think about this match? When I looked at it, this is exactly what I thought of that match. That didn't play because I had the sound down.
Of a travesty of two mockeries of a sham.
Right.
This trial is a travesty. It's a travesty of a mockery of a sham, of a mockery of a travesty of two mockeries of a sham.
Yes, and it's not because I'm mad that they didn't let the angle go. No, I'm not mad about that. I like the fact that they're playing a long-term angle with Evil Emma and Bayley, and Dana Brooke and Asuka. But here's where the travesty comes in. We didn't get to see Asuka wrestle. That's the travesty, folks. Not seeing Asuka wrestle.
This trial is a travesty. It's a travesty of a mockery of a sham, of a mockery of a travesty of two mockeries of a sham.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Because it's just fucked up when you don't get to see Asuka fight.
I have spoken!
That's it. That's all I got. All right, so getting back to the copious amounts of notes here, I'm really starting to wear out. Woo, boy. All right. Yeah. So they beat down Asuka, and this is the first time that Asuka's looked vulnerable at all. Emma slapped in a vicious-looking Emma lock. It looked really good. That should be a really good match because for the first time, Asuka looks vulnerable. Is she actually? I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's going to eat Emma's face at NXT TakeOver London, but we'll see. Bayley does her promo next backstage, and I loved her promo because this is where I get tipped off on certain things where I'm like, okay, I listen and I look for things that don't seem right to me. She said something that we never hear. She said, the difference between me and Eva Marie is I'm a wrestler and she's not. When do you hear shit like that? They're making direct reference to everything that we're saying. You never see this. It's so interesting to see them go that route. So I enjoyed that. And it would prove very, very important later on. I mean, because all of this played into setting some intrigue for that match. Next, the one big shocker of the night, Sami Zayn returns promo. He could be very close to returning. And look, I didn't think we were getting Sami Zayn until well into next year, like February. I thought he might even miss any possibility of coming up for the Rumble, which I still think could happen. Who knows? Because we've seen some other NXT guys get their call-ups just for the Rumble and then go back down. We saw that with Rusev, so it could happen. But, Zayn's had a little bit of taste of the main roster. So how long does he stay at NXT? When does he come back? Does he go right after the title? There's so much intrigue here. What do? They need something big going on the main roster. Do you have him go with Kevin Owens? Do we have that feud now? What do? That's the question. What do you do with Sami Zayn? I think because of how over he is with fans and his natural ability that we've seen over and over again and how good the guy is, I think it gives you potentially limitless possibilities. You could do virtually anything you want with the guy, and it's almost definitely going to work. And that's something that you can't say about a lot of people. That's what Sami Zayn is he has that special quality. It's going to take him a lot to fail because people aren't going to allow it. He's one of those guys. It's the same thing with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is going to continue to get reaction because he's one of our guys, As bullshit as that is, Roman Reigns isn't one of our guys. But Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Hideo Itami, these guys are. It's kind of bullshit, but it is how we are. We're a bunch of fucking asshole smarks. What do you want? Next, we get Apollo Crews versus Jesse Sorensen. Yes, that Jesse Sorensen, former TNA, broke his neck Jesse Sorensen. Yes, he's wrestling again, and he basically just gets squashed by Apollo Crews. But we do see an evolution in Apollo's game where he changes his finisher from the standing backflip, which I do like, to an alley-oop powerbomb, which I really loved. I thought it was pretty damn cool where he started into a side slam and then throws him up and flips him into a powerbomb. Pretty impressive move that you don't really get to see very often. So I did enjoy that. I thought that was cool. I don't think he can do it to Baron and Corbin, but we'll see. The intrigue of those two is going to be very, very interesting, to say the least. I'm looking forward to that match, mainly because I want to know what they have planned for these two guys. Baron Corbin has been up and down and up and down and up and down in his development. He seems to be as hot as he's been in NXT. So do they capitalize, or is this just another bump in the road and maybe a pitfall? Because Apollo Crews seems to be only going one way, and that's straight to the top. So we'll see what happens. And then we already talked about the main event ad nauseum. We talked about it. We got into it. I told you exactly how I feel about it, and I will continue to defend it. So now's the time, kiddos. If you got something to say, if you want to get your calls in, phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. You can call in right now on Skype, David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA, or 702-751-2902. Call in, get your voice heard. Tell me what you thought of the NXT show tonight, which I was fairly disappointed with. Tell me what you thought, and do you disagree with me on the whole Eva thing? Because if you do, I don't want to just hear, she sucks. I don't like Eva because she sucks. She's terrible. They want her to be champion, Dave. They're corporations, and corporations are evil. They're the 1% type. They're the 1%. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear why Eva sucks, because tonight, I don't think you got much of an argument. But they're the 1%, Dave. They're the 1%. Are you saying that you like the 1%? I do. I want to be the 1%. I want to be the minority. Yeah, in that case, I do want to be the minority. There you go. There you go. I'm really tired. Patty Glynn joining us in the chat. Hey, Dave, how you feeling, Dave? That's why the booking in NXT is great. Hey, back to you. I'm feeling okay, tired and in pain, but okay overall. And yes, the booking is quite great. Let's go ahead and take a call. Didn't think I was going to get one, but I do. Perseverance pays off. 856, you're live with Ted on Dave. What you got?
What's going on, Dave? It's Pat from South Jersey.
It's my boy. It's Patty Glynn from New Jersey, as my good friend Tommy C. of Shot from the Point Hockey would say. What's going on, Patty?
Not much. I thought NXT was a solid show tonight.
I wasn't impressed, to be completely honest. I'm not saying it was a terrible show, because it wasn't. It was solid. I think you used the right word, but it wasn't the same impressive NXT that we always get. But I think this kind of speaks to the strength of NXT, the fact that it can always do something different and still be watchable.
I mean, it just shows that the booking down there is a lot better than it is up on the main product.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Tonight's booking was about as close to Monday Night Raw booking as I think I've seen. There's been a lot of paint-by-the-number stuff. It was mostly filler. Even an NXT Tag Team Championship match that was just filler and getting to another event. That match meant nothing other than getting to Cass and Enzo, which that's a very big WWE Raw thing to do. So I thought there was a lot of things that we see main roster booking tonight. The difference is it was only an hour of it, and I think it ended on a high note. So when you only have an hour of it, I don't think it's as noticeable as 2 or 3 hours, you know?
That's true. Maybe that's the thing that I'm.
Because you don't have as much time to get sick of it.
Yeah. I didn't catch the beginning of the show, but what were your feelings on the main event? I'm sorry.
I enjoyed it, man. I got to be completely honest. I thought the way that they set it up, I thought the whole night being this situation of the fixes in and giving a new villain, the new villain being the corporation, giving an entity, a faceless entity. I thought that was a really smart thing to do. And most of all, Eva Marie didn't fuck this up tonight. I thought she was...
No, I think if she works like a slow-paced match, she can do it.
Well, it all depends on who she's in there with, man. I mean...
That's true.
She's in there with Bayley. We're talking about a top 3 woman wrestler in the world in Bayley. She is that good. There's no question in my mind. She is that good. So...
I mean, she didn't botch that reverse flip DDT.
Yeah.
What are they calling that down there? What are they calling that? Some kind of...
The reverse... Oh, you mean the sliced bread?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that move, man. That's the Brian Kendrick move. I enjoy that.
Yeah, but I thought Byron Saxton called it something like they...
Yeah, he called it sliced bread.
It. Oh, did they call it sliced bread?
Yeah.
I thought I heard sliced red or something like that.
You know what? Maybe it is sliced red. Because that makes more sense. Because his version is sliced bread. I guess her version is sliced red. That makes more sense. And if they don't, I'm going to tell them to send Patty Glynn a check because you just named that thing perfectly.
That's what I heard. Of course, I am.
It's very possible. I'm retarded, though, so don't worry about that.
You're not retarded. How you feeling, man?
I'm exhausted and I'm in a lot of pain. But
I just caught you're in Alicia's unboxing and you're saying
I was dying through that unboxing. That was a brutal one. I had to stop the show 4 times to yell at my family.
I know, I saw that.
4 times, man. I had to stop the show to yell at my family because they were so aggravating because I was in so much pain. But we got both boxes, so I had to do the unboxings. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I do unboxings on this video with on this channel with my daughter. And today we got both Nerd Block Classic and Nerd Block Junior. And I was a surly fuck. I was surly, but it's okay.
Before I go, Dave, it's a sad day.
What's
Brad
that?
Maddox got fired. It's a sad day. Brad Maddox got fired.
Yeah, I know. What a waste, huh? Oh,
I know, right? He can't dress in a turkey suit anymore.
I know. Yeah, that's the worst part of it is the fact that he just did that on Jimmy Fallon, and now he's gone. Will Moore.
Apparently, he did some kind of promo during a dark match that got him in trouble.
Oh, see, I haven't heard that yet.
That's reports I'm getting, but they could be false too.
I'll check that out. I'll look into that one. That's interesting. But it's okay because even with Brad Maddox gone and me being in pain, tomorrow, well, actually today it's already Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody who celebrates in America.
I was just about to say that to you. Happy Thanksgiving, man.
But and you know what that means today is? Do you know what today is then?
SmackDown.
It's a new day. So thank you, Patty Glenn. I appreciate the call. I think you're probably going to be the only caller tonight, so that's pretty sweet.
All right, man.
You take it easy, my friend. And oh, by the way, your Sixers are a fucking disgrace.
Hey, it's funny. Everybody in Philadelphia is bitching how bad it's been and all that stuff. You see, they don't realize it's been bad before. The last time it was this bad in Philadelphia sports was 1994.
It's never been this bad. The Sixers,
I don't know,
at least the Sixers have never been this bad. They're about to set an NBA record for futility. This is not good.
Sixers were bad in 72 and 73. They only won 9 games.
Yeah. This is bad.
But no, I mean, I'm talking all 4 major sports. 'Cause in 94, the Flyers were in last place. I'm talking 93, 94, okay?
Oh, yeah.
The Flyers were in last place. Sixers were in last place. The 94 baseball season, the Phillies were heading to last place. And the 94 football season, the Eagles started 7-2 and wound up losing their last 7 games to go 7-9.
Nice.
That's how bad it's been.
Your teams are terrible.
Oh, tell me about it.
They are bad, but it's okay. Hey, but you just keep on working because you know what? Like I already said, you know what tomorrow is? It's a new day. So thank you, Patty Glenn.
It's been a good last month or so for me, if you remember.
Yeah, well, I know. Well, you just keep going to the next new day. Tomorrow, it's always another new day. So thanks,
All right,
Patty.
buddy. I'm gonna let you go, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving. Gobble gobble, motherfucker. Take it easy.
All right, later, Dave.
Patty Glenn from South Jersey. That's right, my good friend Patty Glenn. He's a sexy man beast. He is. Clinton G in the chat says, "Hey Dave, when do you think we will see Finn Balor called up before WrestleMania?" It doesn't matter what I think. No, I don't know. He could, he might not. It could go either way. I think a lot really does depend on some of the development of some of the top guys on the roster. If this new faction of European authority seems to get over, then maybe they don't have to rush anyone up, even though I don't think a Finn Balor would be a rush at all. But bringing up another major talent is not necessarily a bad idea. They can bring up a middle-type talent, like a guy like, I don't know, even a Mojo Rawley type situation, and utilize properly. That's the key. Utilized properly, it can be very effective. Tyler Breeze might be the answer to a lot of people's problems if they use him correctly on the main roster. So that's going to be the question. Can they use Finn Balor, as great as he is? If they don't use him right, it doesn't fucking matter. He's just another guy. And because he's undersized, there's a very good possibility that he might be used wrong. So we'll see. Fat Ass Twat says, "I stuffed dead turkey's anus with my hand today. I stuffed dead turkeys with my hand today. I stuffed their anus all the day long." I sound like Tommy NC 2010 trying to rap. That's not good. No, I mean Tommy NC 2010 is the best rapper in the world. All right, well, it looks like that's going to wrap up the calls. It seems like we're getting low on the questiones. So we got through all the notes. We got everything that you needed to get. You got my views on it, so it doesn't need to be an overly long show. Less is more when it comes to the fat man sometimes. And when the fat man comes, it is always less is more. I don't even know what that meant, but I'm awesome. Terry the Snow Queen enters late. Hey there, Miss Snow Queen. Thanks for joining us. I very much appreciate it. But we're about to leave. We're about to get up out of here. So what's my exit line? Get out of my crease. Oh, no, that's In the Crease with Tommy C. Monday through Thursday. See what I did there? Over at Shot from the Point, my good friend Tommy C. Shot from the Point Hockey, the most badass hockey podcast of all time. DJ Cage said, "Is it me or is Eva improving?" Where the fuck have you been? I've been saying that the entire show. That's been the narrative of this show, is how good Eva Marie looked tonight. She looked really, really good. It was not a bad match at all. I thought it was the best version of her that we've seen. DJ Caged. Finish him. Raw. I'm exhausted. And so that's going to wrap it up. I think we're getting up out of here. Thank you guys very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for everybody who showed up in the chat. Thank you for Patty Glenn for your wonderful call. I appreciate that. Thank you guys. We will see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Make sure you check out the latest episode of Dave's Save Point. I talk about D&D. I talk about Pokemans. Talk about all kinds of stuff. So make sure you go check that out, as well as the latest unboxing. Dave and Alicia's unboxing. We got 2 boxes to unbox today. We got Nerd Block Classic and Nerd Block Junior. And I yell at my family a lot. It's pretty funny. So make sure you go check that out. It was a good time had by all. We got all kinds of cool stuff. Look, I got a Star Wars calendar. Fucking awesome. Look at that. Oh, wait. Let me show you what else I got. This. You want to talk about awesomeness? Look at this thing. Look at this thing. This is, you know what this is? Look closer. Do you know what this is? It's not a Bullwinkle thing. No, no, no. It is a mother frickin' little tiny shot glass of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation Moose Mug. How good is this? I got that in Nerd Block Classic today, and I'm fucking in love with it. It's great. It's so good. Oh, no, I broke it. No, I think I broke it. No. Oh, no, it just came out of the box. It's okay. It's no longer a collectible. It's out of the box. No. So there you go. There you go. So if you want to see those items. Oh, and this shirt. Look at this awesome shirt. See this shit? Yeah. That's an awesome shirt. That's an awesome shirt. Yes. It's Nightmare Before Christmas. And the fucking Back to the Future DeLorean. Come on. That's awesome. That's all I got. When I'm lifting up my shirt, you know that we're running out of material. Thank you guys very much for joining us right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. We'll see you next time. Make sure you check out my man, Yo Man, Real Talk, because I heard that he has an album coming out. Tell us about it. Me? Every so often, a musician emerges that changes the landscape of their genre, changes the definition of what is, alters the rules set by those who came before. That musician brings with him music that shatters the image of the status quo, music that transforms, music that ushers in new inspiration, new ideas, and new life. That musician and that music is here.
And the best in the biz.
Evil genius, what up?
Best in the world. December 17th, 2015. Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah presents Black Mozart.